It's debatable how long it takes somebody to be mind controlled, thought reformed, brainwashed, but 90 days is pretty good. It happens faster than we think. Welcome to the Sobriety Bestie podcast. I am Kirsten, your hostess today, and your friend here as we go through our Deprogram AA vibes series, all of the things here to unfuck your mind from AA ideology. And today we are starting a mini series called The 8 Signs AA is Controlling Your Mind. Today is part 1. This is Milieu Control. This series is based upon Dr. Robert J. Lifton's groundbreaking work, Thought Reform and the Psychology of Totalism. So how am I saying that right? A framework originally used to study brainwashing in Maoist China, but disturbingly relevant in high control groups like Alcoholics Anonymous. So part 1 of his framework is Milieu Control. There are 8 different parts to his thought reform framework, and we're going to go one by one through all of them, comparing it to Alcoholics Anonymous because we are here to get free. So number 1, part 1 today, we are talking about Milieu Control. Milieu Control is the first sign of mind control and the most powerful. It means censorship or control over your environment, your communication, and eventually even your internal thoughts. Thought reform always begins by limiting your exposure to anything outside the ideology. Now, thought reform is Lifton's term that also is brainwashing, that also is mind control. They're all in the same category. There's just like different ways that we interpret those things, but brainwashing, thought reform, and mind control is all pointing to the same thing. They all kind of mean the same thing. Let's look at how AA uses milieu control. Number 1, physical control of the environment. Meeting makers make it. Have you heard that? Let me know in the comments. Meeting makers make it. No, meeting makers don't make it. Meeting makers make meetings. Like, what the fuck? So this is an encouragement or a pressure to do 90 meetings in 90 days. This is a classic indoctrination tactic. It took me about 90 days, so it was 60 days of AA for me to lock into the system at the identity level, which is the deepest way that we can get locked into the mind control, is through our identity. What identity, you might think? The alcoholic identity, of course. I'm an alcoholic. Hey, my name is Kirsten and I'm an alcoholic. Nope, actually that's not true, by the way. I'm just saying that right now for here. That's what we are coerced, pressured, highly encouraged to say inside Alcoholics Anonymous, because once we lock into the I am an alcoholic label, then the entire system, it's like we fall into the system then, and then everything else becomes true for us. So 90 meetings in 90 days, yes, that can help you stay sober, but it also locks you into the system. That also gets you fully indoctrinated. Well, maybe not fully. It's debatable how long it takes somebody to be mind controlled, thought reformed, brainwashed, but 90 days is pretty good. It happens faster than we think. Some examples of this are having smart feet, act into right thinking. So you take the action and then your thinking will catch up. This is used to override your instincts. Yes, there's benefit to doing this in the beginning in Alcoholics Anonymous because it is helping us get into a system that's going to help us to get sobriety. At least, 5% of us get sober through AA, 5% who try. So there are some people who do get sober through AA, not a lot, but still, you're told to go to meetings even when you don't want to. The way that I did this is I would always schedule to meet a newcomer at a meeting. And so I would always show up at the meeting. The newcomer rarely did, but I got to the meeting. So meetings become the only safe place. You're praised for being in the rooms and you're shamed for drifting. So this is creating an environment of immersion. You are immersed in the AA culture, in the AA ideology. The more that they isolate you from outsiders, the more the AA worldview becomes your default way of seeing the world. Number 2 is social control of relationships. You know, the stick with the winners. You're told to avoid anybody not in the program, maybe not directly, and maybe not everybody was told this, but even your close friends or your family, and definitely your drinking buddies, you are discouraged. A lot of us are discouraged. I was discouraged. Your experience might be different. I understand that. I was discouraged from hanging out with specific people. So the control of the relationships happen. You're not allowed to date in the first year. Yes, I see reasons why this is encouraged. And also that is certainly controlling your relationship. I had people in the rooms. I don't fucking know why. I had already been going out with my boyfriend for a year and a half when I got sober. But in my first year of sobriety, they were trying to control my relationship. I'm like, you've never met my boyfriend. What are you talking about? I shouldn't wear this on a date. You shouldn't be dating in your first year. He's not good for you. I'm like, you literally have known nothing about him because I've never brought him to a meeting because he doesn't have a drinking problem. So there was a lot of, control of my own personal relationship when I was in the beginning of my sobriety. You shouldn't be in your relationship. I should break up with my boyfriend because I got sober. I don't even understand why that makes sense. Like, he was not encouraged. He never drank in front of me ever again. He's like, all right, I'm not going to quit drinking, but I won't ever drink in front of you again. And he honored that. He totally supported my sobriety. They might say, if you hang with slippery people, you're going to slip, get in the middle of the boat, don't question it, don't leave. People who leave AA are painted as doomed, in denial, dangerous, or already on the road to relapse. This cuts off diverse perspectives and reinforces in-group loyalty through fear and through shame. 3 is a one-way flow of guidance. This is the sponsorship system. Sponsor is positioned as your moral authority, like a higher power, but with a phone number, somebody you can call who's going to tell you what the fuck to do. I recognize that not all sponsors are like this, but a lot of them are. And we all know by now, if you've been here for a little while, the whole thing about a suggestion, that's a highly manipulative way to say control. I have a suggestion for you. No, it's coercive control. Let's be clear, because if you don't do what I say, you're going to die, basically is the vibe. Now, not directly, but it is kind of implied. It's kind of how it works. I'm talking about the culture. I'm not talking about directly what's in the book necessarily. It's the culture. It's a thing. I've been to a bunch of different fellowships and it existed. Now it might not be in all of them, but it's definitely part of the culture. Sponsors often advise on who to date, whether or not to take meds. If you're not a doctor, shut the fuck up. Do not make suggestions on medications. This is not cool. So many of us are told that we shouldn't try antidepressants, should get off of our medications that our doctor gave us, or whatever. If you're not a doctor, shut the fuck up. You have no place to tell anybody about medications. If somebody who is not your doctor is giving you medical advice, again, STFU, shut the fuck up. Yeah. Some of them even tell you what job to take, what job to have. I had somebody try to convince me that I shouldn't apply for a job that was in my field, that I have like a graduate degree in, and that I should work at the local coffee house. And of course, there's nothing wrong with working at a coffee house. It's just that had nothing to do with what I had dedicated 6.5 years of undergrad and grad school to studying. So it wasn't relevant for me. And so why is this person, it wasn't my sponsor, but it was somebody else in AA who was trying to have me get this coffee house job. I'm like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you giving me advice on where I work? Even like your best thinking got you here, it undermines your intuition and your autonomy. And therapy, of course, can be very helpful, but they talk about like outside help or outside issues and how that's not part of AA, but we're not separate. Like the part of us that drank alcohol and failed to control it, if that was our circumstance, is not separate from our trauma, is not separate from our neurodivergence, our mental health, our lack of coping skills. Like, we're one person. We're one person. Just one person here, one brain. It's not mentorship, it's behavioral and cognitive control under the guise of guidance. Number 4, suppression of voice. Take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your mouth. So you're supposed to listen and not talk. Newcomers are basically told to shut up and listen. If you speak with doubt or criticism, you're often labeled as that's your disease talking, that's ego, that's resistance. It's definitely discouraged to have critical thinking within a groupthink like Alcoholics Anonymous. Meetings are structured so that the groupthink thrives and dissent gets corrected or ignored. Like there's the don't crosstalk at meetings vibe usually. But there will usually be some disgruntled person who will crosstalk if you speak against in any way the program or the rules, whether the rules are totally deliberate and out there and written down or the rules are just of the culture. I was in a meeting once and this person, it was really weird because I was like brand new in sobriety and somebody was talking about like, I think something dumb like a baseball game or something, that just what they did on the weekend, and somebody else screamed, that's an outside issue, you can't talk about that, we're talking about alcohol in here. I'm like, what? Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen people either crosstalk, literally talk about what you said and like make you wrong or make somebody else wrong, or scream out in the middle of somebody else's share to like try to control what they're talking about? Yeah, it's kind of weird. So shares are steered back to the solution, to the steps, to the sponsor, to the God on repeat. You quickly learn what is acceptable to say and also what makes you a target. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We need to stay in line, otherwise we will get targeted. And it's emotional stuff. It's like we'll get shunned or corrected, or yeah, we become dangerous if we think outside the box of AA. Number 5, ideological containment. This is where the literature becomes gospel. When people say AA is not a cult because there is no leader, actually, and I'm not getting into the is AA a cult or not. I actually have a whole video on that I'll link, but it's more that the leader of Alcoholics Anonymous is the goddamn big book. The big book is the leader. It's the Bible. That's not in the book. That's not in the book. It's the book. Read the book on page this, that. All the thumpers. All of the thumpers. Yes, the literature is gospel. It is like considered truth. It is sacred and unchangeable truth. People read it line by line as if it is divinely channeled. A lot of us believe that. I was into that. I did it. I'm not here blaming Alcoholics Anonymous. I was Alcoholics Anonymous for a decade. If we are pointing fingers, the fingers are coming at me. If you were reading the book and doing the steps and sponsoring people or having a sponsor, the program is you. You are to blame. I am to blame. Everybody who participates is to blame, because there is no one person to point at. The people who are carrying the message of Alcoholics Anonymous are the ones who are to blame. It was me. I did it for 10 years, 10 and a half years. And they always talk about, this is the classic line here, the conference approved literature. That's not conference approved literature. We're really discouraged from outside literatures. I know I was directly, or people just saying it, that's outside whatever, outside of AA. So we're really discouraged to critically think. There was even like jokes about like how the smart people usually don't get it. Like don't think your way, like just take the action, smart feet, don't overthink it. So there's all this don't think and just follow the leader, follow the group, follow the ideology that locks us in. That's the milieu control. Number 6, behavioral avoidance. This is the people, places, and things. You're told to avoid anything that might challenge the program, friends who drink but respect your choices, music, media, environments associated with the old you. Don't go to your old stomping grounds. Even your own thoughts becomes suspects. It's a classic internal milieu control. Number 7 is community enforcement. So it's like a fellowship surveillance. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced this, because a lot of people have been DMing me about this. If you missed meetings and they're looking out, they know that you missed the meeting. They're checking on you. But if you read the text message that you get, it's like super persuasive. It's like a hook trying to like bring you back, to pressure you. They're worried about the system over the person. I feel like they're not actually worried about us. They're worried about, because it doesn't feel like care. Control doesn't feel like care. They feel different. It's more like, I want to get you back in line with the system versus I actually care about how you're doing. It's like I'm trying to control you and move you over into what I think is best for you because I believe it all, versus how are you actually doing? So yeah, there's that. And gossip is framed as love. We're just concerned about you. And you can be called out in your shares or your step work for being off program. There's no formal punishments, but there's plenty of emotional consequences. I think everybody probably knows what I mean with that one. The group becomes your internal police force. You start self-correcting before they even say a word. But fear not, you can reclaim your mind. There are plenty of ways to break free from AA ideology, including on the Sobriety Bestie podcast. I have a Deprogram course, Deprogramming AA, Unfucking Your Mind from AA Ideology. I will link it below if you want to take that next step with me. It is self-study. You can do this from the comfort of your own home or your own phone. It's all on an app. It's really cool, actually. I'm obsessed with it. It's a vibe. I also have this whole mini-series here. So tomorrow we are going into the second part of Lifton's thought reform, which is mystical manipulation. So I will see you in step 2. And hopefully I will also see you in the conversation in the comments. I am very much interested in your thoughts on the milieu control. Was your thoughts, environment, information, literature, was all that controlled within Alcoholics Anonymous? Let us know in the comments. Let's make this a conversation. And I wish you so much peace and so much freedom, and there is life after high control. Bye!